Now then, I'm going to be reacting to a video about cultural nationalism. I am broadly aware of it, but it's never something I've looked at in depth, so we'll get straight into this video. If you want to watch this without me talking, then the link is in the description, but if you're watching from this point forward, I'm going to presume that you want to know what I've got to say about this.
Hello and welcome to this new tutorial. In this tutorial, we shall talk about the concept of cultural nationalism. आप सबका स्वागत है इस नई ट्यूटोरियल में और आज के इस ट्यूटोरियल में हम लोग समझेंगे
Well, it's a 7-minute video, but if we're going to keep swapping to the other languages, I'm going to presume I'll probably have about 3 minutes worth of information here.
सांस्कृतिक राष्ट्रवाद, कल्चरल नेशनलिज्म। तो फिर चलिए शुरू करते हैं कल्चरल नेशनलिज्म। Well, cultural nationalism is a form of nationalism that places primary emphasis on the regeneration of a nation as a distinctive
So what I will just quickly say is, yeah, I understand this sort of concept that from when you have an ethnic group that lives together in close proximity, they have habits which then become culture, and then once you have that at a sort of large enough scale, you have a nation. Then this is why like ethnicity is tied to nationhood, but not as we might term it now, nationality, which is what country you come from. And the concept of a country is different from the concept of a nation. But I'll not get too sidetracked at the moment in time.
Rather than as a discrete political community. So here when we talk about cultural nationalism, it is a form of a nationalism that places its most important emphasis on regeneration of a nation as a distinctive civilization. What does it mean? It means under cultural nationalism, the focus, the emphasis is stressed upon regeneration, revival, or a spiritual renewal of a nation.
You can see why this is very sort of relevant. It's not a term we're using a lot in the UK at the minute, but I think this is the, well, for me personally anyway, this is the most like logical form of nationalism anyway. So any ethno-nats watching this, I'm not on board with the whole ethno-nationalism thing. That is the same pie-in-the-sky nonsense that the communists flout, to be honest with you.
As a spatial characteristic of civilization, and therefore it doesn't give most important or more important to discrete political community, which basically means a individually separated or a distinct political community. In simple words, cultural nationalism focus more on nationalism and gives its primary emphasis on revival of a nation as a distinct civilization.
This is where I think it's sort of when ethno-nats get a bit upset that ethno and nat are ethnicity and ethno-nationalism or whatever are just synonyms. I mean, same again with culture. Culture is derived from ethnicity and culture informs nationhood. So we can get bogged down in the weeds and say that these words are all synonyms, all we like, or we can use these monikers as best we are meant to describe our differing political ideologies.
सांस्कृतिक नेशनलिज्म की बात करते हैं तो ये जो सांस्कृतिक नेशनलिज्म है ये एक ऐसी फॉर्म ऑफ नेशनलिज्म है जहाँ पर जो स्ट्रेस होता है, जो प्राइमरी एम्फोसिस होता है, वो स्ट्रेस किया है ऑन.
If I was actually learning guess which one it is. If I was actually learning this language, this might actually come in extra helpful. I have spent some time learning in languages, but not this one.
Regeneration of a nation as a distinctive civilization. मतलब revival या फिर spiritual renewal of a nation.
Okay, I hope we're gonna get into something a bit more substantive now. It's
bit
bare bones at the moment. Come on.
As a civilization,
give me a bit
rather
more.
than giving importance to its political community. और इसीलिए जो cultural nationalism जो होता है, सांस्कृतिक राष्ट्रवाद जो होता है, वो अपने देश को अपने कल्चर से उसको लिंक करता है, वो अपने रिलीजन से उसको एक रिवाइवल करने की कोशिश करता है या फिर एक स्पिरिचुअल रिवाइवल लाना चाहता है अपने देश में। नेशनलिज्म है on removing the state as a peripheral, if not alien entity, and therefore all these cultural nationalists always see a state as a part of their individuality, as a part of attachment to oneself.
Yeah, and I mean, in a democracy, the state is meant to be made up of individuals representative of those areas. But obviously, I mean, I probably don't need to point out the obvious that that's not occurring in democracies. We're ending up with a sort of a new form of aristocracy, essentially, that stay in power all the time through various bloodlines and favors and whatnot. And I think even this occurs in like industries like journalism, where it's like, I believe that to break into the BBC, you had to know somebody who works at the BBC. You know, it was not entirely nepotistic, but certainly nepotistic in nature and, you know, so forth.
They relate the nation to themselves because they see the state through their culture and definitely not as an alien entity. और इसीलिए यहाँ पर जो कल्चरल नेशनलिस्ट जो होते हैं, ये अपने स्टेट को एक अटैचमेंट की तरफ देखते हैं। वो उनके और स्टेट के बीच एक अटैचमेंट देखते हैं, एक रिलेशन देखते हैं।
Just get to some more English.
Is based on or in accordance with the reason and the logic, whereas all those political nationalism or all those political nationalists gonna see.
See, now as a Christian, anyway, I would extend this out because me Christianity, is the most logical direction to take. Since I came to Christ, I realized that that was the truth. So that is the most logical way to take. And I know that's an anecdotal opinion, thus illogical, but this isn't the video for it. But, you know, I now can logically explain why God exists. Obviously, that's not me saying I can prove he exists, because nobody can prove nor disprove that he exists. But I would say being, highly interested in logic is not necessarily going to lead you to being a political nationalist. Lead you to be a cultural nationalist, or even, I suppose, the ethno-nats and ethno-nationalists are still using a form of logic to arrive at some of their conclusions as well. But yeah, I'll leave this video here for the minute anyway. I'm going to find a better one to try and react to, because this one was a bit bare bones. And something I want to, like I say, I kind of understand cultural nationalism anyway, but I want to, refine my understanding with the incoming political debates that are likely going to come my direction. Anyway, next video.